Hi, I'm Sergeant Grattan with the Maryland National Capital Park Police. I'm sorry you guys couldn't make it out for a tour, so we decided to bring the tour to you. I'm currently assigned to the Special Operations Section. The Special Operations Section has 10 officers who are certified and trained to ride motorcycles, horses, and operate our boat. We also have 5 canine officers assigned to the section. Today we're going to meet Miss Duncan. Miss Duncan is our barn manager. She's going to show you around the barn and begin introducing you to our horses.
Hi, my name is Heather Duncan, and I'm the barn manager for the Park Police in Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm here to give you guys a little tour of the barn and start to tell you about our horses. So as you can see, we've got a fair amount of horses in the barn. We have 12 horses total. We have 10 that are in this barn, and then 2 that are out in another stall, which I'll show you guys later. A stall is kind of like their bedroom. It's their house when they're in the barn. So you can see this is Brumby. This is Brumby's stall, okay, this is his house, and he happens to be licking on a salt lick, which is kind of like a popsicle or a lollipop. He really enjoys it. So that's his stall. All the other horses have their own stall. So we're going to go ahead and start. As you come in the barn, we also have the tack room, which is right here. So we're going to go in here. The tack room is where we keep all of the horses' equipment. Tack is another word for horse equipment. Okay, so we're going to go in here and I'll show you what we have. So the tack room has saddles, which are these, okay, saddles here, and then we have the bridles for the horse. We've got a saddle for each horse. You can see I was just talking about Brumby, and this is Brumby's saddle right here. You can see it has his name on it. It's specific to that horse. So each horse has a saddle, and they also have a girth. It's kind of like your belt. It holds on the saddle so it doesn't fall off. Each horse also has their own bridle. So this is a bridle. This goes on their face. And it has reins on it, so you're able to control the horse, and a bit. Okay? So you can see all of our horses have different bits. They're all a little bit different depending on what the horse needs. But each horse also has their own bridle. We also have in here an exercise chart. So we have our exercise chart so we can keep track of how many times the horses are ridden, so we know that they're not being exercised too much or too little. It's a good way for us to keep track. In here we also just have some saddle pads. These are kind of our everyday saddle pads that they can ride in, and then we have some fancy pads that we keep elsewhere for when the officers have special details, special functions, fancy functions that they have to go to. They're a little bit nicer. They have like gold trim on them. So it's our fancy pad. These are just kind of every day if the horses go out on patrol. So now we're going to go ahead and leave the tack room. As we're going out, you can see the horses want to know what I'm doing. They're like, huh, what's happening? Yeah, their heads out, they're kind of seeing what's going on. And pretty soon we're going to be taking the horses outside, so they're kind of all wondering, why am I standing here instead of taking them outside? That's where they really want to go. So over here we've also got some grooming equipment and some styling products for their hair, okay, for their mane and tail. We've got some grooming items here that we use in grooming. It's just another word for kind of, you know, like brushing, taking care of the horse's skin and hair, okay? We've got a brush here that looks just like you would use on your hair maybe, and we use this for the horse's manes and tails, their hair. We've also got other brushes in here to help get them clean. Curry comb, this is called a curry comb to help clean them. So we clean the horses to make sure that there's nothing underneath where the saddle goes, and so they look nice. So we also have things here to make them look nice, kind of like hairspray, what you would use, okay? And that's little E. We'll talk to him in a second, but he's being impatient. He's trying to get attention because he wants to go outside. That's what that noise was. I know that was probably loud. So we'll get to him in a second. So here's some grooming area, our grooming stuff, okay? We've got that. We've got lead ropes here that we can use to help take the horses in and out, kind of like if you had a dog, same kind of deal where you have a leash. It's kind of like a big leash for a horse. So before we go say hi to little E, who wants to talk to us so badly, I'll show you a little bit here about the grain, okay, what the horses eat. This is one thing that our horses eat. They like it a lot. They kind of like candy. It's not candy, but it tastes sweet to them. They enjoy it. They get excited about it. Maybe like you would about eating a Snickers or a cookie or something like that. So our horses get fed once a day. A lot of horses will get fed twice a day. We have one horse here that gets fed twice a day. You can see this is some grain here. And I always say, I think it kind of smells, this grain, it smells like maple syrup. Like it smells sweet, so I can see why the horses might like it. We've got the grain there. We've also got the chart of how much each horse eats. So we've got the horse's name and then how much of each kind of grain that the horse needs. So you can see most of our horses get a half or a quarter of a cup of the grain that we have here. We also have a list of supplements. We give all of our horses MSM, which is kind of like something you give them to make them feel really good so they can move around and not be kind of creaky or uncomfortable. Okay, it's something we give them. And then there's also a section here for notes if there's any medications the horse may be on. We have a note for that as well. So moving on, so we can go see impatient little E who wants to talk to us, okay? So you can see actually behind here, so we have an empty stall. All of our horses are in the barn right now except for one. Tonka, he's not here. You'll meet him later another time, I'm sure. He's out on patrol right now. So he's hanging out, making sure everybody's safe on patrol with his officer. So walking along, before we get to E, we have the hay, okay? We actually just threw some hay down. It's up. Oh, Ozzy wants to say hi too. Sorry. Ozzy, hi. Sorry. We'll pause. This is Ozzy. He wants to be in everybody's business. He's very nosy. You can see, look, if I scratch him, see how much he likes that? He's like a dog. He's like, oh, that's the itchy spot. I like that spot. It's itchy. He probably would want me to do this all day long. Okay, Ozzy, we have to get back to the tour, so I'll have to touch you later, okay? Okay. So, hay, they eat hay. That's kind of more like their salad, okay? It's something that they need to eat all the time to kind of keep things going. And they like it, but it's not as exciting to them as grain. So we give our horses option to eat that hay pretty much all day long, okay? It's important that horses eat all day, you know, as much as possible to keep everything moving. They get in trouble if they have limited amounts of food. They need to have a little bit all the time. So we'll get to E since he's here and he's so impatient. This is E. This is the horse who was making all that noise before, okay? And what he did is he lifted this up. This is a saddle rack. And he pulled it and then let it go. Because he says, hey, what are you doing? Do something. He wants to go outside. That's what he wants to do. So he's trying to tell me that. So he literally was using it like a door knocker, like you would on somebody's door, like knock, 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 knock. He was going like that, okay? So he's probably gonna do it when we walk away. Little E, little E. Okay. So over here, we've got a wash stall. This is kind of like their shower room, okay? So this is very, very helpful when it's winter time because we have hot water in here and heaters above. So when we have to give the horses baths in the winter, it comes in really handy so we can get them nice and clean, or if they have any kind of medical issue, we need to clean that. It's great for that, okay? And we use shampoo on them just like we would, you know, ourselves. So we've got all sorts of different shampoos here. We've got even this, which is Mane and Tail brand, which you can use on your hair if you really wanted to. I actually bought this at CVS. So they actually keep this, people actually use this quite often, but it started as a horse care product. So we use this on them. We use a couple different products. We even have this blue shampoo that we use to help get their white hair really, really white and shiny, since it tends to get stained because they like to roll around in the mud and make a big mess, especially right before a really important thing that they have to go to. So we have to keep them super clean, so that helps with that. So we love our wash stall because we're able to do that in the winter time too. So out here, earlier, I told you guys that we have 10 horses, they're in the barn, okay? Then we've got 2 horses that are out here in the outside stalls. You can kind of see one maybe from here. That's Turner sticking his nose out over there. And he might even talk for us because he's impatient. He really wants to go outside right now. So he might talk, we'll see. So they're not in trouble. They didn't get put in a timeout. They're just out there. Oh, see, he's talking. Because we just didn't have space in here, okay? We only have 1 extra stall in here, and it wouldn't be very nice to have the extra horse out there by himself. Nobody really likes to be by themselves, especially horses. Horses are what they call herd animals, so they want to be with other horses. So we have 2 out there just to kind of keep each other company. So we've got all the horses. We'll definitely tell you guys more about some of the horses later, but just as far as where the horses live in the barn, we also have the tractor. You can see the tractor there with the manure spreader. That's what we do with all their manure. Yes, horses go to the bathroom just like you do. So we put that in there, we dump it into the woods, and we actually use it for the Pope Farm, which is part of the commission where we work. They actually use it for plants to help grow their flowers and their plants. So next to that we have the bedding. That's what we use to put in the stalls to kind of help absorb any of the urine, make it a little softer for them. And then after that we have the large bales of hay that we put out in the winter time into the fields, so the horses have something to eat when they're out there when the grass sort of goes kind of quiet or goes dormant, which means when the grass stops growing, they don't really want to eat it that much. But like I said earlier, they need to eat pretty regularly. So we put these big bales out in the winter time so they can eat on that, snack on that when they're outside. So that's about all I have here. I really appreciate you guys checking out the barn, and hope to see you at another time.
Okay guys, that was Miss Duncan with the barn tour. Just to wrap things up, we're gonna head down to each stall and say hi to all of the horses. So this first guy, this is Brumby. Next we have Kona. Kona's one of our newest horses. As Miss Duncan said, Tonka is out right now patrolling, protecting our parks. Here we have Ozzy. He's the one that wanted to make an appearance in the video. And this is Riley. Miss Duncan is next to me with a treat box so that they're all ready and camera ready. Let's go ahead and give Riley one. He's begging really bad. There we go. Next we have Whiskey. Whiskey's officer thinks he's a dog. He tries to teach him to walk on a leash. And here we have the fabulous duo of Picasso on the left and Zeke on the right. Outside, you can actually catch a quick glimpse. Tonka just got back. So he'll be coming in so that he can go out with the rest of his buddies. Here we have Mr. Gator. He's on the other side of the aisle. And lastly, Mr. Little E. So they're all ready to go outside, and hopefully you guys can all come visit soon.
people built that shit. It probably is.
So that concludes the barn tour for today. Stay tuned because we will have 2 more videos coming soon involving the horses.